companies need creators now more than ever. It's their generation's commercial. You're not trying to make content for the people around you. You're making content for the people who don't know you yet.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Holden Conversations, where Gen Z tells their stories. Today's guest is Libby Amber Shayo, an actor turned content creator turned content consultant. In this episode, we talk about the keys to self-employment, how to know if your business or your channel is actually growing, and how Gen Z consumes media and how that can help you create your content in a unique and niche manner. So without further ado, Libby Amber Shayo, everyone.
A lot of creators don't have like an acting background, an arts background, but you
hmm
do. What benefits does that have when you're starting your content journey?
Literally everything. I mean, the first thing you're taught in theater is like how to slate, introduce yourself in a room in front of people you've never met before and create connection. And I feel like doing that organically online has been a little easier because of that previous education. And you're kind of taught to be cringe and be weird and be vulnerable at 9 in the morning and sobbing in your acting class. So going straight into character, especially as someone who does do character content, it becomes more of a natural instinct instead of thinking about the emotional preparation that goes into it. And then I also think, as someone who was in the theater background and was interested on the business side, I know when someone else is talented or has the it factor and is someone that I will normally gravitate towards or maybe even collaborate with down the line. So I think those things definitely put me in a different position. And as an actor, you're kind of taught to fend for yourself. Like opportunities don't just happen to you. You put yourself out there. And some of the best people in social media who are getting the most opportunities are the go-getters, despite a follower number. They're the performers in the background.
It's kind of just like that big bridge that
Yeah.
is, well, I'm scared about how people are going to pursue me or,
Yep.
are going to view me, is kind of just completely eradicated because actors have been doing that their whole lives.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And like the fear of being cringe or what people think of you, like I was already a lead in the show as the Scarecrow and like limping the whole show, or Moonface Martin and Anything Goes, or whatever it might be, Ren of Skya and Cherry Orchard. Like I already had those moments where it's like real people watching versus you can't even see people watching you, but they are watching you. It's
What helps
different.
kind of what helps kind of get over that fear, especially if you don't have an acting or arts background?
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say for me, my goal was always to do something that was known in some capacity. Obviously, growing up, it was more stage and like TV, and now it's more social media, which kind of is our generation's form of that.
Yeah.
For those that are scared, I recommend acting like your phone is a FaceTime like all the time because you talk to people and communicate with people you're comfortable with. Like, what makes you comfortable? Pretend you're speaking to that person. Like in acting, when you're doing a scene, they're like, who are you talking to? Like, have someone in mind in your head. So I think that's a really useful skill.
Why do you think so many people, including yourself, uh, had COVID help them become full-time content creators? Like what about that time inspired people to say, "Hey, I don't need anyone else. I'm just going to go be my own entity."
Yeah. So my junior year, going to my senior year, my Jewish mom was kind of like, you got to make money in the business. And I was like, ugh, fine, I'll, seek interest in a talent agency. And also at the time, I was a teacher's assistant for a method acting class. And I learned a lot. And I was like, you know what? I could kind of kill the acting bug and just do this. And I essentially interned for a talent agency, but then fell in love with it and was like, I think I'm ready to just do this for the rest of my life. And going into my senior year, that was the goal. And then we are working with one of the original SNL writers, Alan Zweibel, on a play, Bunny Bunny, that he wrote about his life with Gilda Radner and all the things. So the play ended up getting canceled because of COVID, and it turned into comedy lessons from the expert via Zoom during COVID. All my job interviews that were talent management and casting related were canceled. There was nothing else to do except for post videos on the internet. And the one of me pretending to be my Jewish mother freaking out about COVID during Passover is just the one that hit. And I kept going from there and just being able to see the opportunity that could happen from posting one video completely changed the trajectory of my own career. And it still felt like I had some sense of control like you do when you're on the other side of the theater world. Like it was kind of like I was doing both and becoming my own in-house production studio, writing, editing, producing, pitching. And yeah, I utilized all those skills when I worked in corporate too.
Was when your video about acting like your Jewish mother freaking about COVID during Passover, when that went viral, was there a moment where, oh, this fun thing, i.e., posting online, turned
Yep.
into something that had wheels that could potentially be your full time job at some point?
So that was my first video, and TikTok reposted it on Passover on Instagram and tagged me in their story. So that was my aha moment. And I started working corporate social for Jewish organizations because that's what knew me at the time, really learning and growing on my feet from Lost Tribe to ACE to Hillel International, like TikTok ambassador programs, eventually like the Brooklyn Hilton Hotel, which was like outside of that sphere, all like freelancing. I then worked full time in Korean beauty, skincare, was like desperately missed the humor here. And then I worked at an agency as a TikTok content creator full time. My clients were Sour Patch Kids, Trident Gum, Nutter Butter, and then Honey Made Belvita, and then Tums Emergency Chapstick Prep H.
You just
So
listed them all.
I got to do a lot of work under the sun, from like the Jewish world to the beauty world to the food world to the medicinal world, and it was really fun, like pitching ideas all based off of TikTok reposting and kind of showing me that there was a path for that. Immediately, my brain went to, okay, corporate path of that, stability of some sort. And then now I'm a full-time content creator with consulting on my own terms for behind the scenes for events, for creators and brands. I do social media strategy for creators and brands. Like I'll come to the event, I'll film, and I'll give the content in less than 24 hours. And I realize that a lot of creators don't have someone that they trust. And so that's really where I come in and like TikTok creative lead. But I'm also still a creator. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like being able to have that control using that corporate backing and that theater education to like pitch and put yourself out there without being scared.
Well, once you realize you want to make that step and work for yourself, it can be very liberating, but also surely has
Yeah,
to be terrifying as well for anyone
for sure. For sure.
because there's so many unknowns and you're the whole entire infrastructure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think because I didn't just say I'm going to be a full-time content creator and only do brand deals and only limit myself to this or only post Jewish mom content, that's what I was known for. But then I took from camp content, I took from Greek life content, skit content. I ended up getting married. I planned my wedding in 5 months. I shared everything from engagement, proposal to wedding day and figuring out how to balance that. And now I'm a wedding content creator for other
Yeah.
brides. So I think I just didn't limit the amount of opportunities that could come. Same way, like you have cast types, like you know what you're good at playing, but you could also still play something else if you work really hard to try to do it all.
Is it kind of just like there has to be a baseline of skill you need for content creation, and that if you're
I think
too
so.
secular, it could punish you when you want to try to expand.
I think it's really great to develop a niche at first, but when you're in the game for 6 years, if you haven't tried something new, it's going to get stale. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to mix and match. Like Jewish mom's never going away. She's just not an everyday thing for the last 6 years. So some people are getting to know me for different things. And like even the camp content, like being Camp Cohen, I had camp merch because camp was closed during COVID and just like playing off of what was happening in real time.
What do you see in social media that someone who's just a creator may not see from the strategic side?
Yeah, I would say a lot of content creators don't know much about social strategy. They think more niche when it can be way more detailed and oriented in their audience and building media kits and pitching themselves to brands and like going to managers. And my goal is to kind of help bridge the gap from someone who's been on the brand side, the agency side, and the creator side. So I'm utilizing all three of those things. And then when I pitch myself, I'm coming in from, you know, I'm not just a creator. I'm coming in from understanding where you're at, what your deliverables are, what your timeline is. I know they're planning their content calendar 3 months in advance. If I'm reaching out about Hanukkah, I might want to reach out earlier, or have my team reach out earlier. So I think it's important to have that experience. I would also say for actors who work in agency or casting life, I think they're really well versed too because they understand a bit more. You get that email like, oh, so and so didn't get the role because she's too blonde. Being on that side, you can see it's not always personal. We got to take it and move on, and there's going to be something out there for you. So when you come in from the brand side and you see how things are slow, how legal gets involved, but creator side, you're just seeing 10 edits. You're not really understanding why until you see it up close and personal.
But on the strategic side, how do you keep the people part in a solely people industry? Because no matter what the math or the analytics say, if someone doesn't watch a video, someone doesn't watch a video. So how do you uh, continue
Yeah.
to embed the human element when it comes to strategy?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It's different for everyone. Like it would depend. Are you a brand? Are you a creator? Are you new? Have you been doing this for a long time? Sometimes everybody needs a rebrand. My content pillars certainly look different than what they were before, especially with my understanding now. So then when I can sit on a call, which I do with creators, and break down what does well, what doesn't, what are you embodying? Or I've done content strategy for like podcasts. What topics do you typically cover? Like, how can we break them down? What are the umbrellas? What percentage should you talk about this in blank episode? And my co-host and I have had a podcast called Schmuck Boys on the Jewish Journal Network, Jewish dating, Jewish comedy for the last 5 years. And it made so much sense with my strategy and what I was already building on top to just add a final cherry. Like, this is where I really talk Jewish dating and Jewish identity and bring on other people to hear their voices, but we add a lot to the conversation too. So. And that makes sense for my brand, like Jewish mom, Jewish dating. And then now knowing that a lot of my followers are young girls who go to camp and watch my camp content. Oh my gosh, for consulting, I should do bar and bat mitzvah content creation. Those are my followers anyway. And that's like a business decision that is still based off of my own personal strategy.
So
And
is it
nobody
fair?
else is
Yeah.
doing it.
So is it fair to say that the extension of your content slash the broader becoming more and more broad comes from a more logical standpoint, but the quote unquote performance in your videos has to stay very human esque in just anyone's content, right? Because no one
More
wants
or
to feel like they're
less.
being sold anything or
Yeah,
that someone is talking out of a script. Like I feel like that's something that is getting more and more
right.
outdated. People like feeling like they're having an intimate interaction with whoever's on their screen,
I
especially
think
if they're making fresh content.
Jake Shane is a great example of that, and I've been watching him from the very, very, very beginning. Um, Even pitched him a few times on the other side, pre like extreme virality. But he was someone that automatically I could tell was strategic and smart and humorous and using really raw conversations with the people he lived with and just real interactions. Like you can relate to him. He is not out of touch no matter what.
How do you kind of identify when people have that it factor almost?
Yeah, I think part of it comes a little naturally from just watching lots and lots of theater and TV and like knowing Ariana Grande was not going to just stay acting. She was going to have a vocal career or watching Justin Bieber, Kid Raw, like knowing he was going to be huge one day and that even the boys would love him. A fact. A fact. Um, but it's really the way they engage with people. And you could just tell based off of how someone communicates if they're a theater person too. Like it's extremely obvious. The amount of times I do it, whether it be a nurse, whether it be someone in the street, you could just tell the positive energy and their vibe and their instincts and conversation. You're like, I know what you are, but what am I, you know? Like it's a specific type of connection.
From a consultant end, how do you kind of extract people's talent that may be kind of cluttered, or to use a Yiddish word, fakakta? Um, like, how do you extract talent that may be undefined or untapped? Because some people may be great at improv, but not be great at acting, and they're just not in the right spots. But you see the
Yeah.
business mind, you're like, well, if I put them in X, Y, and Z position, they're going to crush it.
Yeah. I think it's always really helpful to have like your North Stars, like people that you look up to that are in a similar world to you and not copy them, but observe their success and why it works for them and how it can work for you. Because when you're on the brand side, and you're working for a snack company, they're looking at other snack companies and what they're posting and saying, wow, like Dunkin' has a really excellent strategy. I love that post they did. Maybe we can embody something that's different or a TikTok trend. You can utilize all the trends to focus on your business, but you have to decide, does the trend work for you? Is legal going to let you use this? So we have really great resources nowadays. So I think it's really a matter of figuring out who you are as a brand, who you look up to, or as a creator, you know, and what you want to achieve. How can you be different? What hasn't been done before? And that was kind of like me with bat mitzvah stuff. Like I didn't see many people posting that and like really pushing that agenda hard. Like wedding content creation has become a real big thing. But I also did my own wedding content creation for my wedding and had my 12 bridesmaids follow me around with my personal phone. And I talked about it and I discussed what that looked like and how it worked for me and how I was on my honeymoon, being able to post in real time. And I know not every bride would be able to do that on their own, but you might trust the person that did do it on their own and is now doing it for other people.
It's like almost the emotions that they emit. It's not exactly what they're always doing, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a mix and the trust factor is a really big thing. Like I feel really proud to say that a lot of creators trust me and I've built relationships with them for 6 years. So when it came to me building my business, a lot of them were like, you know, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to help me. I know nothing about media kits or, you know, what is your advice for how much I should charge for this? Great, let's get on a call because they don't always have that person that they can trust that's like a friend, but creator, but also like consultant. Like it's still rare. There's not many creators who do the business and create.
Yeah.
Maybe they have full-time jobs, but you know,
That also requires you to be conscious of your other roles while you're not actively doing them. So like you have to be conscious
totally,
of how you want to be perceived as a consultant when you're creating content. So how do you
totally.
not let the Libby Amber Shayo leave yourself to make sure that your other roles are still
Yeah,
making the yeah.
I'm a very consistent person. I've been the admin of a WhatsApp like Jewish influencer group chat for the last 6 years, and I was doing events just for fun. And so a lot of them would trust me and they would come to my events and they would see what they were. And I'm not trying to profit this, that, you know, like I wanted to bring people together and unite them. And it's rewarded me in more ways than I can explain. People living together, people dating, people, you know, just becoming friends has been really special. And of course, obviously, I announced what I was working on in the chat, and those people trust me and know me, and they can only add people through me as the only admin to add them. And it's become a really big community. And a lot of my clients have been from that chat. So I think building your own community and your own resources, it's important. And I didn't think about that 6 years ago. I was just like, how cool would it be to bring people together who are posting about the Jewish space right now?
Yeah.
So it just makes it more exciting.
But also you can't no one can be like, "Man, I wish I knew that 6 years ago."
No.
Because like when you're 22 years old, graduating college, you're not in
Right.
a pandemic. You're not going to have the foresight that you have now when you're in the industry for so long.
Yeah.
How do you? What is the balance between gut instinct and being very methodical when it comes to
Ooh.
content creation and content strategy?
Because trends are so fast, it's kind of both at the same time. Like
That's
you
not
have to
fair.
be No, it is because you have to be fast or the trend might not matter anymore. But you obviously have to use the trend in a smart way. You can't just post it. And there were countless trends I would bring to the brand side, and legal wouldn't let us use the sound. So obviously, methodically, to post a trend with a commercial sound and it's a lip sync song to Justin Bieber, like we can't really use the trend if we say like everything hallelujah to a different song, like
Yeah,
it's not going to come across the same way, you know? So I think it's yes in both ways.
that yeah.
You got to be smart about it.
Well, it just puts people in such a dilemma because
Right.
it's like, I've been doing this for so long, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah. I mean, also it's different as a creator. You have more freedom, more liberty. You're in charge. You know, if you constantly live in the fear of like, I don't know if this will work, you're never gonna know until you try. And I think you have to screw up a few times in the beginning. You're kind of throwing things at the wall. When you're more established, you're probably more careful. But it was funny. I was talking to my friend the other day who was posting her like proposal photo, and she has an app to see how it looks on her feed before she posts it.
Yeah,
And she was like, "What do you do when you run into this situation?" Like, da 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 da. I was like, I would have no job if I had that app. Like, that's the freaking truth. Like, I don't try to be like aesthetic every day all the time. You know, like this is someone who posts like once every 6 months.
yeah.
So it's like methodical, thought out. But like there's so many photos in the camera roll they could have posted in 6 months. One of my best friends, shout out to her. We love her. So happy for her. But eventually she did post, but she asked me that question and legit my response was like, "Oh girl, you think about this way more than I do." Like, you know?
Well, you don't
So
have time because people, if
I
you're
don't have
if you're in the
time.
everyday posting world, you can't
I don't have
be.
time.
It's sometimes it's make I'm forgetting
Especially when I
you said
post like
news. Yeah,
3 to 4 videos on TikTok a day sometimes, like you think that I'm thinking more about what it looks like visually. My TikTok feed looks very different, but it has a consistent writing on it for the
yeah.
title. And I think that's something that I started doing in like 2022. I might stop it at one point, but like right now I like it because you know what the video's about and it all looks consistent at the moment. And it doesn't look messy. But on Instagram, it's like I post more videos than I do pictures and Instagram, the looking pretty, like I want to just be me. I want to show up as me. I want to be real. I want to be raw. That is my vibe. For someone else, they might have that app, but not me. I wouldn't be able to get anything done.
Well, there's a saying in news that you have to make air, not art, and
Yeah.
it seems like it has to be the same way in social media too, especially when you're posting at such a consistent pace.
Yep. Yep. And if you don't want to and that's not your goal, okay. But
Yeah.
like consistency wins.
How do what does content growth feel like once you're actually experiencing it? Is it viewership? Is it an understanding? What does it actually entail?
It's definitely a high in the beginning. I think it is definitely viewership, looking at your analytics, what the watch time is, you know, if you're getting creator income from the opportunity as well, that's usually a good sign if the video is like over a minute. Um, but yeah, there's a lot to it. How many comments are you responding to the comments, especially early? Are you checking immediately? Are you checking the next day? Um, I'm someone who used to go live after every single video I would post. Now I don't have as much time to do that, but I think that could be part of it too.
What does chasing clicks do to a creator? Is that always the smart way to go about things?
I think sometimes people can't help it. But it's just, it's not necessarily the smart thing, but it's like, it's a high, it's like a drug. It's like there's an
Dopamine.
adrenaline rush. Yeah, you get very excited. I saw my mom on Mother's Day and she was so happy her LinkedIn post did well, like beyond. And she was like, "Oh my God, is this what you go through like every day?" And the truth is in the beginning, it's like, and then it's scary when it doesn't happen immediately after. I think now I've come to terms with sometimes we can blame the algorithm and sometimes we can't, you know, move on. And the thing I love about TikTok is that any video does really well later on. Like
Yeah.
my videos from 2020 are getting resurfaced because people are clicking my playlist. Or, I'm having new people in the game, and when they like something, something similar is going to show up. Whereas on Instagram, the algorithm's not showing you a post from 6 years ago.
Yeah. I bet
Not the
having
same.
that consultant perspective kind of helps you not tie your self-worth to your follower count or to your
No, I
content
can't. And
creation.
that's why I wanted to do both too. Like I don't want the like even when you're just an actor and you miss out on every single audition, you're like, am I not talented? No, that's not what it is. You know? Maybe you got like 10 callbacks and it wasn't the right fit. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it wasn't the right video. Move on. What did well and what can I do that brings that energy in again? I'm like, okay, interesting. People definitely like dogs. But is this content better on my dog page? Actually, yeah, it's doing better down there than it is my personal. What if I just tag my personal in every post or whatever it might be? So I think thinking about it that way is really smart.
How do you, when people get knocked to the ground, video doesn't go well, how do you turn on that instinct of, okay, I'm going to want to better myself rather than sulk? Because it can be hard.
Yeah.
Struggling, someone who has gone viral for years or been in, people's feeds for a long time, and then all of a sudden they get knocked to the ground, it can feel like a real gut punch.
I'll be the first to say my videos did so much better 6 years ago. Now there's way more competition. Everybody's trying to be a creator. It is way more tough out there. It is literally performing, you know? It's performing. So I think I tell myself that, there's even more people on the platform and they're way more widespread. There's so many things going on in the world. Sometimes the videos that have done better have also given me extreme anti-Semitism, and like that's also a give or take.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm happy to just kind of be where I am and exist and post what makes me happy.
Just to
So,
kind of be on your feet, be where your feet are
yeah,
at, rather.
yeah, pretty much.
How do you stay grounded in an industry full of instability?
I have an amazing husband. I now have an amazing puppy. I started falling in love with like Pilates workout class and I take that hour to just be off my phone. And that really helps me a lot to just like touch grass. And I'm actually very excited to have a dog to like be taking those walks and like have designated time to just step away.
Is it important to kind of treat it like a 9 to 5 in a way, where it's when that 5 o'clock hits,
No,
you're
because the
retired?
ideas, no, I don't think I ever really retire. Like ideas happen all the time. I'll be talking to my friends and be like, wait, that's funny. I'm making a video about that. Oh, love. Like, but I do it in a way that like I surprise myself and I make it fun. And I feel like I am so grateful for my family and friends. And I just feel really supported that they'll even tell me, wait, that's really funny. You should make a video about that. Or something will happen to them. They'll tell me a story and you should talk about this. So,
How important is it to have people who are so supportive of you in your life as you're going through something where people are seeing you publicly evolve every day? Like, how important is it to just have supportive people? Like, obviously, it's good to have people who are going to give you constructive feedback or maybe be hard on you.
yeah,
But at the same time, how important is it to just have people to tell you to just keep going?
I would say it was really big for me when I decided to do this full time because it was kind of a for fun thing to go the corporate route. And when I thought about it, I was scared to say it. And everyone around me was like, well, no, yeah, like that was the next step. And I was like, oh, like if you believe in me and you supported me, it has to be true. And I think, like I said, like having a supportive partner has been really key. Like if you don't, having like supportive, just family in general, friends in general, friends who actually don't hate you or are jealous of you for like your success and what you're doing that are texting you like, how was that event? It looked amazing. what are you up to this week? Because every day looks a little bit different, and sometimes that could be scary, and sometimes it could be exciting, and one email can change your life. But I feel really lucky that the people I've kept in my circle have have been really loving and great and supportive in the comments and all that. I think it's definitely important. And it also helps like humanize you for a minute. Like there's life outside of just people you don't know online.
Yeah. What do you do when you get hate comments? Just in general, how do you
Um,
brush them off? Because you have
yeah,
to.
I block a lot of people. I share a lot of the anti-Semitic comments because I think it's really important. I started off as a Jewish content creator. I will forever be a proud Jew. I wear my Jewish star every day. I always tell people when I introduce myself in content creator settings or when people ask me like, what do you do? Oh, well, I pretended to be my Jewish mother and I post a lot of Jewish comedy and I have a Jewish dating podcast. Like, I really just drop my Jewish identity first and foremost. That is the forefront of everything I do. So when I do get the hate comments, they're not meant to be there. I don't want them there. I don't need them there. But sometimes the world needs to know the real. And I choose to share them when it makes sense. And I have definitely been extremely vocal and I'm very proud of that.
Just a few more things here.
Yeah.
Varying a little bit from dealing with hate. How is Gen Z's relationship with social media going to evolve over the years? Now, I feel like we all got goldfish minds, but at some point that's going to push back because they're
Yeah.
going to be bored of 15-second content. How are we going to evolve?
It's so hard to answer. Um,
Well, you're the consultant.
I know. I guess just like we wouldn't have predicted TikTok years ago. Like in some way, like YouTube was that, right? Like Justin Bieber got extremely famous from YouTube. I've never heard of someone who just got Instagram famous overnight.
Yeah.
I haven't. I couldn't name one. TikTok, you have Alex Earl, you have Charlie D'Amelio, you have the Hype House, Addison Rae, you know. I want to say it's just going to keep getting harder because there's going to be more people who want to do this for a living. And there's a lot of tools out there to do it. Like people could AI scripts to every single video they ever make and tell them exactly what they want to post. And they also can copy people verbatim. So I think the time to start is now before it gets even harder because it's already been getting harder in the last 6 years.
Well, it's also important though if you're using AI, you can't just say create a viral video for me. You have there has to be some skill.
No,
You need to
you
know.
have to obviously lead it and no shade to anyone who does do it. But what I'm trying to say is if you know nothing and you're coming from a standpoint of knowing nothing, you have great tools for you.
Yeah.
Great tools. So the more we have available, the more our world advances, the harder it's going to get because everyone's going to have access to the same thing.
Do you think we're getting smarter as a society when it comes to content creation, or at least more? Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Or at least
I
more
think yes.
cognizant.
I think yes because companies are realizing that hiring creators is the smartest decision they can make. Like companies need creators now more than ever. It's their generation's commercial. And companies need like the fact that there was a role, TikTok content creator, where my job was specifically to seek out TikToks, attend events, post TikToks. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. So I think it's really smart that companies are understanding that and leaning on the Gen Z to do that.
Yeah. What are you
And
trying to?
saying like it's okay, we don't know this very well. Like let's rely on someone younger who is very much in the space.
Well, there has to kind of be a leap of faith from a lot of companies where they have to say like, look, we have to trust people to do things that we don't understand. And
Yep.
unfortunately, that just happens to be younger people. So,
Well, right now, yeah. But like the amount of adults that I would explain like Gen Z slang to, like that was really fun.
yeah.
You know, and I love that like we're advancing that way. I think even like Duolingo definitely helped with that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, only to advance from here.
It's kind of like what you're seeing with like local news, which is that
Mhm.
Gen Z doesn't watch it anymore. So people are going to have to adapt with it because they know that that's the future.
Yeah, like people are getting their news from TikTok platforms. So it's like, what are news people going to do with TikTok? Like, can they partner? Can they collab? Can they live stream news on the platform? Can they add a section for? I don't know, just to make sure everything's factual.
Yeah, but there has to be some reframing of the way that we look at things, and I think it's happening in front of our eyes.
Totally.
What are you trying to build long term? Now you've been in the industry for 6 years, but like long term, what are you trying to build? Is this the end goal even?
Um, Ideally, it would be really fun to be bigger on my platforms and really get in the nitty-gritty of content creation. I just love event content and attending events and making sure that those moments are captured and being by people's side when they're speaking or they just need extra support on red carpets. Like, I would love to do that with more like celebrity talent. I would love a bigger talk show at some point. I just love conversing with people. I love our podcast that we do. Um, so I think in an ideal world, that would be great. And maybe even some more like commercial work or theater of some sort.
Yeah, got to keep shooting for the stars and
Yeah,
also
why
finding
not?
ways to um, bring everything together, whether it's the
Yeah,
podcast, whether it's the theater, just trying to blend everything together.
exactly.
And then I know Gen Z loves to use this word. I'm acting like I'm not a part of Gen Z, and I for sure am. Um, but this is my last question. I'm trying to manifest this as my first ever sponsored segment. So I tell that to every guest. What is advice you'd give to your younger self, and specifically for you, when it was 2020, you're graduating from the University of Buffalo, and the world was flipped upside down? What would
Yeah.
you tell yourself that you know now back then?
Oh, it's gonna get so much better. You will not find your husband in college. You don't necessarily need like I love that I was like, maybe my mom was right. I do have to make money in this business, but like to be able to control that, but also still perform on my own terms has kind of healed that whole relationship with performing. So I would love to tell myself that because I kind of saw it as like giving up in a way,
Yeah,
for stability. And that being consistent is great. And you're gonna have to drop a few people because people might think you're cringe or whatever. They don't matter. And that you're not trying to make content for the people around you. You're making content for the people who don't know you yet.
it's kind of like creating an army of people you do and
Yep.
don't know.
Yep.
You want to drop your socials?
Yes, Libby Amber Shayo on everything. LIBBYAMBERSHAYO.
Libby, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching another episode of Holden Conversations. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss the latest in Holden Conversations. Until next time.